This is one of my best friends in the entire world, Corey Berger. He is the founder, co-founder, and CEO of Rebel Living, and he's an absolute juggernaut in life, specifically fitness and nutrition. And I wanted to have him on here today to tell us a little bit about his story and a little bit what, in my opinion, separates him from all the other people out there who promise you this, that, and the other thing in regards to fitness, nutrition, and really just looking great. Because there's a lot of people everywhere you look who they'll take a picture with a 12 pack and they'll say, do my program, but a lot of people don't have the results. And even though what I do is a lot different, I think that the mindset is very relevant to what you do.
It couldn't be more true. And I appreciate the introduction. I love you so much.
Love you more.
As you know, and I'm so thrilled to be here. I know that you have cultivated one of the most amazing communities on this planet. So it's an honor for me. It's a privilege for me to be able to be here, not only in front of these badass people that you have in this community, but to be here with you, coming from where we came from to where we're at now. Never a question in my mind that we'd end up here, but to finally be here, it's amazing.
Unbelievable. I couldn't agree more. And this is just the beginning for both of us. And I love you so much. And I know for a fact your best is yet to come. And I'm super excited for your clients for what you have to offer and what you're about to bring to the table.
It's, you said it right from the beginning. The whole six-pack model, the whole idea, right? Can you see? Physical transformation is one thing, right? And everybody wants to focus on that. That's the biggest thing I see in the industry. And the model needs to be flipped right up on its head because it's ridiculous, right? Everybody wants to tell you, I can make you look amazing. I'm going to get you the weight loss. I'm going to get you the fat loss. It's not about that.
No.
It's never about that. What it is and what we do is we get you the confidence, the charisma, the self-esteem, when I look in the mirror, I can't even begin to tell you how fired up I am because I love that person that's looking back at me. That's what we give you through physical transformation.
So you have people waking up with a triple backflip into a split out of bed going like this.
Buddy, listen, here's the deal. When you walk down the street, are you carrying a damn scale with you? No. Nobody knows what that number is. Are you carrying a barbell and a set of plates? Nobody knows what you bench press. Nobody cares. It is about that backflip. Every single day, I want you to wake up, get out of bed, and be absolutely thrilled with who you are. Whether you're looking in the mirror, walking down the street, holding the arm of your loved one, whatever it is, it's about what's in here and what's in here that make the transformation worthwhile.
I love the way you say that. I love the way you word it. And just to make a correlation with what I help my clients do and what you do, I think of two clients, right? Let's just say they were going through your program or they're working with it, or even mine. But for today, we're talking fitness. And let's say you give them, let's just say they have the same body style. Mm-hmm. They're both starting from scratch, whatever the case may be. You give them the same mindset tools, the same program, the same regimen. One is open to the universe and buying into what you have to say and ready to rock, so to speak, and ready to see what you have to offer and dive in. And the other person, although they're going to match that person's effort, they have a negative attitude and they have the mindset of, I've tried every single workout out there. I just can't get over the hump. It is what it is. Now, these two clients work with you and they put in the same amount of effort. Let's just say they have the same metabolism. Would you agree that the one with the right mindset is going to surpass the other one significantly?
They already have just by having that mindset. The mindset is the first step. So whenever we take somebody into the program, the first thing that we look at is what your lifestyle and environment is. Where you're at in life is a result of your behaviors and your beliefs. Those two things go together always, right? But what's reality is that your beliefs, your thoughts drive your emotions, drive your behaviors. So your beliefs are what's going to dictate whether or not you're going to have any success in your life, no matter what it is that you're doing. Whether it's physical, whether it's business, whether it's relationship, your beliefs, your thoughts, your mindset are what's going to drive that. 100%. And our brains are our most powerful muscle. I mean, what's the quote, right? Henry Ford, is it? Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
100%. No, I love that. Everything you speak in my language, 100%, my friend. And it's whether it is you're trying to start a business or you're trying to get involved with fitness or you're trying to put yourself out there for a relationship. And what I try to tell people, and one of the things that I work on in my program in the very beginning is before we get to actual, big moonshots, so to speak, we first have to rewire the mindset, get you on the path to being able to accomplish great things. And see, a lot of the clients in the beginning, their map of the world just isn't open enough. It's just not constructed to be able to see these big results. Where they should see opportunity, they see limitation. It's like a very fast car, picture a Lamborghini with a governor on it, and they just can't go past a certain point. And by altering their map of the world, they can now all of a sudden step into the 2.0 version of themselves and achieve massive results that they never thought possible for themselves. And I feel as though it's the same thing with fitness.
Well, the question is, Craig, right? Because it couldn't be more true what you're saying. You talk about the person with the same metabolism, the same physique going into the same program, one with the mindset, one without, and you're painting this picture of why does one have success and the other one doesn't? Let's take it a step further, right? What's happening in their lives? Because that's the biggest issue that we see with people is like, all right, now let's give both of those people 3 kids. Let's give both of those people 60-hour work weeks. Let's give both of those people some sort of back injury, right? Because that's a huge thing these days. Sure. Let's give both of those people a spouse and a house that's getting work done on it. You name it. I don't care what it is. Let's give both of those people those things. Why can one person have success while managing all of those things and someone else not? Why is one a limitation to one person, and to the person that's going to be successful, those are the drivers? Because it's your view.
Perspective.
It's your view. Exactly. The
100.
Second you change your perspective, listen, Craig, I got people in my environment that have gone through my program and have, I'm talking Marvel level transformations. This one particular client that I'm thinking of, this man has 2 young children, both under 6 years old. He is a regional director for one of the largest pharmaceutical companies on the planet, travels the eastern part of the United States on a regular basis, way more than 60 hours a week. And oh, by the way, the guy recently overcame brain cancer, surgery in the back of his skull to save his life. And he's lost 55 pounds. He's never given up a goddamn thing. And he looks like a damn Under Armour mannequin. Why can he do it? Hungry for life. His perspective changed.
That guy has something that's teachable, but you really have to want it. It's called passion.
Well, that's the thing. You can teach people to develop passion, but you can't teach people to care, right? Sure. So you have to, I mean, one of the big things that we work on with people is helping them to identify. Here's the thing, right? We always talk about the why, right? What's your why? Everybody wants to know what their why is. If I could just figure out my why, I would be successful, right? No, wrong. Sorry. I hate to burst your bubble, but we're here to change lives, right? Insight doesn't create change. Change creates change. If you care enough, that passion, the thing that makes your soul on fire, that's going to drive you. That's going to help you to shift that perspective.
100%. And another thing that I love about you, Corey, is you're a real student of the game. You're always learning. You're always sharpening the axe, I like to say, and you're always digesting. And one thing that you always are is you're more focused on being interested than interesting, right? You're always trying to find out, how can I get an edge on all the other people that are doing this? A lot of people fall under the spell of shiny new things. And I know you personally have seen some of your content, all of your content. And one of the things that you touched upon one time is that, you're sick of people over promising and under delivering. And essentially what you do is you try to find stuff, and you're very successful at it, that really works. It's not none of this, smoke and mirrors and the fluff stuff. And you're always learning and always trying to find an edge on how to stay at the top compared to all these other people that always have something to offer, that it looks pretty, but on the inside, not so much.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate that, because that's something that I care tremendously about. And the secret for me is that I'm no different than any of the people that I work with. I've been through everything they've been through. I was a fat kid that was lacking confidence, and I was from that extreme to speaking in front of crowds of 400 or 500 people at, investment seminars, things like that. So it's not about being interesting. It's about, I'm interested in you because I've been you. I know where you're at. Like, and it's not only that, but guess what? I'm building a business here, and maybe it's not the same as building a physique in terms of on paper, but hey, guess what? It's the exact same in terms of the effort, the passion, the mindset that's needed to develop. So what do I know about you? I know everything about you. And that's why I'm interested in you, because it's hard for me too. There's days that I wake up that I struggle. There's mistakes that I make in my business on a regular basis, but that passion, that mindset to overcome those challenges, to accept them and to learn from them and to move forward, that's what it's really about. So the point that I'm making is, the science is the science. Yeah, you've got to be constantly learning, especially in this particular industry, because it changes constantly. We have new studies come out with new philosophies on how to approach diet protocols, weight loss, periodizing programming for strength training, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, once it's proven, the science is the science. So whether it's me, you, or Joe Schmo down the street, what's the difference? The difference is this and this. And that's what I'm a student of.
Right.
So that's why, like I was telling you before, we developed this program. It's called the Rebel Living Infinity Matrix.
Wait, can you repeat that? Can you run that back?
The Rebel Living Infinity Matrix.
Bang!
Could we get like a bomb to drop? So here's the reason, right? Follow me here. Let me paint a picture for you. A little Picasso. A little Picasso. The infinity loop, right? Think about how that looks. What is it? It's intertwined, right? It's connected and it's never ending. What goes into those two bubbles? Mind on one side, body on the other side. So you have all your diet, your exercise, whatever the hell you want to call it on this side. That's your science. That's a given. That's facts, right? The mindset, that passion, that drive, that rewiring of the brain to be able to overcome thought distortions, to develop passion, to beat challenges into a bloody pulp. That's the stuff on the other side, but they're intertwined and never ending. They never end. And then the matrix part of it, we literally talked about today, is I could show you the door, but I can't open it for you. That's where I need you to care. That's where I need you to actually want to be, whatever it is, right? Just want to be whatever it is.
And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because oftentimes I'll say no to a certain client that's throwing money at me to go through a program because, they see the features, this, that, and the other thing, and they want to go through it. But if their heart's not in it, I'm not interested. And I'll take on a client who presents a great challenge to me, because what does it for me is seeing that fire come back in someone that they thought they lost. Let's just say, use an example, someone who's 50 years old, they're divorced, and they think that their best is behind them. And I say, on the contrary, you're just getting started. And although they have a frame that's broken, I can fix it. And let me just be clear for the audience watching, you're not broken. Your frame is warped. And we can reframe that and remap it in such a way that you can change your entire mindset, and you can begin to get that fire again, to be excited, to be enthused. And where you thought there was a dead end or a ceiling, so to speak, you can break through that. And there's all possibilities and opportunities out there for you. And I think with Corey, with what he does, which is so amazing, is that people that sign up, Corey's going to give you the best chance in the world to succeed, whether it comes to fitness or nutrition or anything of that sort. But you have to have the frame of mind that you're going to buy in and you're ready to give this your all. Because let's be honest, each of us at a point in life, we've been conditioned to be a certain way for so long. And we have to redesign and rebuild your DNA so that you can now step out of your comfort zone. And I like to say get weird, because I am weird and I own that. But you have to be willing to step outside that box and give yourself a chance to get the results that you've never had, so you can live a life like you haven't before. And see, that's what's so important. And I'm so glad that you touched on it, because whether it's fitness, whether it's personal development, or really anything, your mindset has to be in sync
I'm glad you brought that up, because not only do I agree with you to the end of the earth,
Tell me more,
but
Corey.
I love your weird too. Are we allowed to curse? Are we allowed to curse on here?
Go ahead.
Big fucking joke. Huh? No, so here's the thing, right? Like, listen, I turn away just as many people as you do, because if you don't have it, you don't have it. And I can teach you if you're willing to learn, but I can't open the door for you, like I just said. So I would rather, like you said, take somebody on that's got we don't do this for the money. We don't do this for the money. I'd rather take somebody on for free that's got all of the drive, all of the determination, all of the passion, and will go to the end of the earth for their results. Listen, there's a difference between patience and periodization, right? Periodization signifies a process. There are steps in the process that you have to follow to get from point A to point B, right? There's phases, there's levels, whatever you want to call it. But the flip side is like those people that want to talk about patience, right? Be patient, be patient, be patient. Guess what that creates? That creates complacency. And complacency is a killer of all progress. You'll never get anywhere if you're patient. I don't want to work with patient people. I want to work with people that are willing to go through the periodization, understand the process, but that cannot wait to get their results so that they can set new, bigger goals and exceed those.
Understood.
You said it perfectly. The thing is like our brain is wired a certain way, right? We create habits over time and our brain links certain things. It's all about pain and pleasure. Avoid pain, seek pleasure. So if we don't rewire that brain, right? If we can't get leverage on ourselves to say that if we don't reach that goal, that's the worst possible pain that we could ever experience. And on the flip side, the things that move us closer to our goals, if those are the best pleasure in the world, and I'm talking like long-term pleasure, I'm not talking like sex, drugs, rock and roll type thing where it lasts a moment and then it's gone. I'm talking real pleasure. If we could rewire the brain for that, if we can cut those ties that are keeping us seeking the wrong things, then you're on the way. Because I don't know whether you preach this or not, but my belief is this: willpower is bullshit. It's a great thing to work on developing, but it's not going to be there every day. Let's face it, Jordan, Kobe, whoever you want to look to, they had bad days. So you can't rely on willpower. What you need to do is you need to align with somebody like Craig, depending on what your goals are, somebody like me, that can help to teach you how to rewire that brain to create the connections where pain and pleasure drive you towards your goals instead of away from them.
And for the audience that's listening, this is so valuable because what Corey's saying is something I'm a big believer in. And one of the biggest things that I studied in NLP and what I season with my clients and what I embody in them is this: pain and pleasure are two separate ends of the spectrum. But here's the best part: you can redesign what you associate pain and pleasure to. For example, if you consider pleasure when you're emotional and you're in a bad mood, going to the cabinet, eating a bag of Doritos, right? Where that used to be a pleasure and you're okay with it, we can rewire you. So now that becomes pain and you want nothing to do with it. And it doesn't matter how old you are or where you're at in life. We can redesign what you consider pain and pleasure to. If getting up in the morning to do a workout is pain to you, here's the best part. With some work and some mindset tweaks, we can make it so the thought of waking up and not working out is resentful to you, is pain to you. And the results that you're seeking becomes the ultimate pleasure. And that's what's so important about what Corey and I both do. We're not in the same space entirely, but it's similar. And it's all about the mind. And for those of you that have been conditioned a certain way for so long, it's not too late. You understand? It's not too late. You can start now. You can get the proper strategies and structure, and you can rewire your mindset, and you can accomplish anything that it is that you want to do. Specifically here today, we're talking fitness, but it could be with anything.
Listen, let me tell you a little story about me and Craig. I'm gonna save the ones that aren't appropriate for the air for another time. We could talk those one-on-one. But Craig has always been the person that gets stuff done. Whatever we did together a lot of stuff. And when we would do it like that, Craig picked it up and ran with it and was teaching other people. So there was a time back in the day when we were working in a particular business where we used to kind of coach each other through processes. And I always thought to myself, I was like, man, if I could just figure out what Craig does to be Craig, then I could be successful, right? What we all chase, whether it's business, again, fitness, whether it's relationship, whatever your definition of successful is. It's like, man, what is that Craig has? So one of these major things that I was struggling with was I hate mornings. I hate mornings. I kept saying to myself, like, I'm just not a morning person. Maybe I can find an example of somebody who wakes up late and is super successful. But then on the other side, I'm with Craig every day, who's up at 3 o'clock in the morning texting me, I love you so much, buddy. Let's have a great fucking day. And I'm like, shit, how? But when you take that, exactly what Craig said, where it's, we can rewire you, we can change your perception of what is pain, what is pleasure, what drives you closer to your goals, further away. So we had this conversation, right? And we started working on this, and I was like, little by little, okay, I can see where we're going with this. I can see where we're going with this. Boom, all of a sudden you fast forward to now, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I do a double backflip out of bed, and I'm ready to go. And I can't wait to wake up the next morning to be able to bring more for my people. Because once you find that passion, once you rewire, to me, pleasure is the morning now. Is when I get up and have that routine. I have coffee with my wife. I get my day started. I have my meditation. I have my breathing. I have my yoga, whatever it is you got. And I'm working. And it's amazing. And it makes me feel so good. Now, if I sleep in, that's pain. Sleeping into me is pain. Sounds crazy, right?
Perfect analogy.
Sounds crazy. And now here I am sitting with Craig thinking like, now the two of us have the opportunity to impact millions of people. And I'm no longer thinking I'm less than. I just rewired my brain. It wasn't a less than. It was a simple mindset shift.
That's it. That's it. So for the audience, understand one thing. If you take one thing away from this conversation, aside the fact that you're watching two stallions and studs at work, take this. No matter where you're at, what you're going through, we all have a story. We're all facing battles. We're all going through it. It doesn't have to be this way forever. You can make adjustments. And what you saw as stumbling blocks and obstacles, you can change into hurdles. Where you once saw red lights, you can now see green lights. It's never too late. You just need the proper mindset and the proper strategies. And Corey, I know that you have a program now that's second to none. Number one, where do you hang out the most? Where can people find you?
Well, I'm all over Facebook. I'm in the Rebel Living Core group, which I could drop in the comments so you can find me if you have questions, nutrition. What I'll actually also do is we just did a free masterclass on the future of fat loss. And it's exactly that. It's doing things differently than what these scams and fakes out there are telling you needs to be done, that you have to eat less of this or give up more of that. It's about that mindset shift. But we put together a free 30-day plan in there for everybody. So you can go on, you can grab that video, watch that, and you'll actually have actionable steps, both mental and physical, that you could put into practice over the next 30 days to start to transform yourself, mind and body, right away. You know, if you'll indulge me, I like what you said about how it's not an obstacle, because I was thinking about this the other day. I know we're going back a little bit, and I'm sure you have other things. I won't take too much time, but somebody told me that our differences are what make us unique, right? And that was pretty cool, but also about how we can use our differences to create opportunities. Like, those are really your superpowers, your differences, right? The things that you do different than somebody else, the challenges that you have different than somebody else, are what allow you to be better than the person that doesn't experience those. We've heard the rags to riches stories, right? So if I could, I want to share a quick story with you. Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all time.
Athletes of all time.
Right? Phenomenal. So Serena had a really bad injury at one point in her career. She got knocked out. She came back from this injury and was struggling at Wimbledon. She was really playing poorly. And this was her comeback moment. And she needed this particular title to get up into that echelon of where she wanted to be, of the greatest of all time in terms of titles, right? And she was getting smoked at the net. Smoked. And her coach walked over to her in the middle between matches and was like, hey, Serena, listen, I got to talk to you. I got great news for you. And she was like, what's up? And he goes, look, right now you're playing 80% at the net. Your short game is on absolute fire right now. You cannot be touched at the net. And she was like, really? I suck at the net. He was like, according to the numbers, you're dominating, absolutely killing it. If you play at the net for the rest of this tournament, you will absolutely win. Serena went out there and she won Wimbledon. That was her comeback story. That was the unbelievable comeback of Serena's career. It set her up to be that greatest athlete of all time. Guess what the numbers actually said? Serena sucks at the net. She sucks at the net. That's her difference. She's one of the worst tennis players on the short game, but her coach shifted her mindset and boom, that difference, that weakness became her biggest strength. And she won one of the hardest tennis tournaments out there.
Unbelievable analogy. It's one of the reasons why I love you so much, is because you challenge me, you educate me, and I always learn new things when I collab with you. And for the audience, I'm very particular on who I collaborate with. And if you're wondering if you should check out Corey's content and Corey's stuff, the answer is absolutely. I love this guy with all my heart. I would take a bullet for him. I would do anything for him. And most importantly, he knows his stuff better than anyone. He's a scientist when it comes to fitness and nutrition. Check his stuff out. Corey, I love you so much. Thanks for stopping by today. And obviously we'll catch up sooner or later.
Cannot wait. Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you.